This is Truth Frequency Radio.
The wicked ones obviously under heavy Masonic influence.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine Ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. What is up, everyone? It is Saturday night, and I'm your Sorcerer Supreme, Frank Castle. And I'm here with my etherical translator, Squeak. It seems Paula passed out on the couch. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Before we start the show, I want to give a special shout out to Chris and Cherie Gio. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here doing this. So thank you so much. Don't forget to sign up to TFR and get the app. You get all the great shows, so many great hosts, truth galore, just flying everywhere in your face. Just remember, wherever you are, make it TFR. If you like the music you hear, or you're just like me in general, check out HEISTCLICK. That's Heist Click. Just type that in anywhere on the internet and watch what happens.
Watch what happens.
Just watch what happens. A little teddy bear expands, it grows up and punches you right in your face, and you expand spiritually into the unknown.
Yeah. Or it's a gorilla.
I'm glad to see you made it.
I don't know what happened to me.
No, I know what happened. I watched the whole thing go down. I got some good stuff to talk about before we get into some weird stuff again. Just knock stuff over. We are now the proud owners of IamWeAreFearless.com. That is IamWeAre. That's the code, fearless.com. We're going to be having all the artists. We're hosting their artwork on, T-shirts and hats and stickers and banners and whatever else you could think of. And we didn't put it up yet. You could see that it's there waiting, ready to go. Behind the scenes, we're setting it up. We're very excited. We're going to do a launch very, very soon. And remember to check it out. This is something for the artist. I always wondered, as an artist, how could just everybody get paid without having to have this dictatorship kind of come down and cut you a check whenever they decide to or never, and then you have to go run up on them and find them and say, hey, where's the money? This, I did all the work, and I'm hoping that you guys did that part of the work that you're supposed to do, because as the artist, these days you have to become everything. As I was in the music industry, I just wanted to be a hip hop artist, but no, I had to be a photographer, a rapper. I had to talk to everybody. I had to set up all the appointments. I had to be in charge of everything you could imagine, including making sure the crew had lunch. And I'm like, I'm the guy doing the job.
Right.
This is insane. Well, if everybody plays their positions properly, there's a whole bunch of us out there starting up small businesses and companies. We've decided to work together. I'm not in this for the money. I've been passing this message out forever. Right? The money will fund the artist. I was so happy to when I sat down with everyone and figured this stuff out. And I was like, that's really good. Like an artist, naturally we do all the promotions, but you can do the promotions too as the artist if you decide to. See, as a hip hop artist, I didn't really want to promote my music because I'm on tour. I didn't have time to kind of be everywhere at once and having, But we'll be passing it around as well, and you can do it yourself. A kid going to college could be like, yo, check out my T-shirt. He sells 100 T-shirts. He just put himself through that semester making some money. So every little bit helps.
Yeah.
If there's something you like out there, check it out, support it, love it. This is how we defeat the enemy, guys. This is because I have to go back and talk about a few things from last week. Because apparently a few of the things that were going on, and I was trying to show you guys, like, hey, there's something going on behind the scenes when they show you Trump and with his head chopped off and Kathy Lee Gifford. And it was brought to my attention.
Kathy Griffin. Kathy
Griffin. I'm sorry. So as soon as the show was over, somebody said it.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes,
and
yes.
I was screaming. I'm like, it was Bilderberg. Bilderberg was last week. So there you go. Like, they're giving you the setup and the delivery, the 1-2 punch, the smack you while you're down. It's like professional wrestling, guys. Anything that pushes, I wrote this down, the separation is the preferred choice of the hidden enemy, the true hidden enemy. So they've been pushing separation like crazy. It's been insane. But what did we learn this week? What did we learn? So much truth came out. Right? I'm going to bring up something right now. It's a meme. I know it's a meme, and people are like, memes. All right. This guy, Comey, I have to talk about this stuff, and I don't mean to, but this is where the spiritual part comes in. I'll explain as we go. You had everybody at each other's throats with Trump and Hillary, right? Naturally, It's the presidency, but this is getting cutthroat now. We were out of control back in the day. This is completely out of control right now. And we learned Trump was never under investigation. He didn't obstruct justice. He didn't collude with Russia. Russia didn't alter the election outcome. Comey leaked the memo on his own. Loretta Lynch pressured Comey to cover for Hillary Clinton. Look, they're lying to you across the board and then marching a clown out, and then you're watching him self-destruct. I don't know. All right. Then you have the Trump beheading, and now you have Bilderberg. I'm trying to teach you guys, and I know the advanced class that's listening to the show is going, oh, I get it, man. Why don't you move on? And I'm like, well, nobody else is getting it. Do you understand that? Because a handful of us do. We need to not force it, but we need to, when people would say, hey, you, look at that, I tend not to look. Right? I'm like, mind your business. But if you're like, whoa, what is this?
Right.
All right. There's a picture on another meme of people in Brooklyn watching Comey just talk his talk. And their faces were dropped because their whole fight was based on the lie that was being told. The hate and the separation was being pushed, and everything was imaginary. Everything. Your discernment levels better go up. We were in, I laugh every time I say this name. We were in BJ's today. It's like a Costco or a wholesale place. But I hate going there. I don't hate many things, but I hate that place. You know why I hate it?
I know exactly why you hate it.
All right, let me tell you why I hate it. A bunch of dead, empty containers just walking around mindlessly.
Vacant souls.
I said something a little dirty today, and I'm not going to repeat it on air, but I said their containers are filled with poop. That's very much what I said, right? That's pretty funny when you say it like that. And I was pointing out things that people were doing. Now, I have been, at times, part of this group, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Just walking aimlessly, doing stupid stuff, not even having a clue of my surroundings or my whereabouts. But it's gone beyond the disrespect level and the ridiculousness of how they just push the carts into you and look at you and stare at you.
Like cattle.
And there's entire families that have this blank.
Vacant stares. Yeah. It's like soulless people.
Now, what did you say? The girl online in front of us, she had massive amount, or she was next to us in line, had massive amounts of stuff in her cart.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you say was in her cart?
Oh, it's all prepackaged food.
Everything was
Everything. Frozen food. This, corn dogs and all fast food.
now. Let me tell you something.
So now, yeah, you saved money on it because you went bought it at a wholesale store.
Oh, wait.
But
Yes, it's cheaper. It's
You're still
easier,
eating shit.
it's-
I'm not supposed to do that.
You're just rocking it
I know.
each
I'm
week.
sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, wear it like you own it. So, when you see this, and then now we're over here looking at it, and I'm going, is it the fluoride? Is it the ease factor of getting the food? Because she had a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
I don't know. I don't know.
Everyone was overweight, and I'm not even snapping. This was everybody. I'm even over it. It's
No, I
the
am
junk
too. I'm
in
heavy
the food. No, this has nothing to do with who's fat anymore. Everyone's starting to look different.
Well, you keep eating all that processed food.
That's what I'm getting at, right? So now it's the ease of the
changing
food
your DNA.
is distracting. Yeah, exactly. Oh, look, I got to get these kids in and out of the house. I got to get them up in the morning and go. Listen, my mom's old school. She was able to whip up scrambled eggs, oatmeal, and pancakes with bacon in 5 minutes, right? Now, not to say that was the greatest thing in the world, but she put in a little work to it. Prior to that, they put in a little more, and the people were just a little bit better. They were eating better stuff. Now, everything is processed. Now, what do you think that's doing to you? Okay, if you are what you eat and you're eating processed chemicals, you're basically a walking drug pharmacy of side effects and byproducts. Fluoride is a byproduct. It's neurotoxins and radiation and what the word Paula just used a few minutes ago, just mixed. It's all the chemicals that in the cigarettes that you hear about that you never hear about. There's like 3,000 chemicals in the cigarette. And you're like, what? Well, there's like 3,000 different forms of things in the fluoride. And fluoride is just an overall name. It's just random combinations of all the stuff that's there.
Well, it's like we talked about. It's like the 40s and the 50s when they learned what to do with preservatives or what preservatives did. And they started creating all this food with preservatives in it and other things in it that don't need to be there anymore.
All right. We eat Kerrygold butter. We could eat the whole stick of butter and not get sick or weird or be like, you eat just a little bit of regular butter and you feel.
It's processed.
Is that oil in my mouth?
Butter is not supposed to last that long in the refrigerator. You know, milk isn't supposed to last.
What do you think all these autoimmune diseases and all these horrible. All right. I had a dream that I was just standing in front of a room full of people. And I said, okay, well, how many people here are on medication? And the room was filled with old to young, young to old, right?
Yeah.
The whole Everyone raised their hand.
Yeah.
The athletes who you think are on nothing were loaded on everything. The mothers who you think they got this definitely, who are against every drug, especially marijuana. Oh my God, marijuana is home popping Xanaxes and drinking wine. Right? And then slamming Ambiens to get to sleep. And you're talking about marijuana and all this. All right. Do you see the confusion that's going on? I hope I'm explaining it. I'm not even looking up tonight. I hope I'm explaining this correctly.
It's getting you not to pay attention to the real issue, splitting your focus.
Now, your body's your temple, and you're putting byproduct in it. What do you think's going to happen when you're like, well, I listen to Frank's show, but nothing seems to work? Well, what's your house like? Inside and out. Like, what's going on? Are you even trying? Or are you just gonna like, I'll play the fence on this one, right? Well, everyone's getting sicker, and I walked by the old age home right up the block from here.
Yeah,
it looks like a prison.
I know.
It looked like a prison. You're gonna tell me that our ancestors are gonna bust their hole for all those years, and you're gonna stick them in a box with a cage around it? You're going to take children and you're going to put them on all kinds of medications because they're going crazy. But what are you doing? You're giving them a tablet, and you're like, yo, just watch this all day. And they're just walking around. They're not expending energy, not at all. They're just looking down, talking to other people. All right, I talk about this all the time. I ran outside. I said hello to a bunch of people once. And these girls asked me a question. There was 5 girls in the car, stuffed into the car. They were all young girls. They were like 19. And they were going, hey, Frank, what about ayahuasca with this? And then everyone just looked down at their phone and ignored me.
Well,
and
no
I
one
said,
wants to talk about it.
are you ignoring me? And they were like, no, we're listening to you. And they were on Snapchat and doing all. I'm like, are you guys retarded? And they were like, no, we're not retarded. But you could see the look in their face. They're looking at me like, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them going, your attention span doesn't last the end of your question.
No.
What was I just asking you again? Oh, yeah. All right. I'll see you later. I just ignore. It's becoming more and more difficult. So I'm in the store today, and now I practice before I go.
Right.
It was a little invisible today.
Yeah.
But I put protection on today, and I can see the soles. I talk about this all the time. About 3 or 4 inches over your head, the other guy pops up, the other character. And you can see them pleading with the avatar to listen. And I'm going, they're not even listening.
No.
Do you know the other night I asked who answered? I asked a question. I said, who is that? Who's answering me? And it was like, it's you. It's me.
Yeah.
And I go, what? And they go, you're so out there that you don't even know yourself right now. It was like I was having this weird conversation. I go, well, you just sounded like, and they go, what? Like me? And I go, yeah, but that was too, what's going on that I'm hearing it like that? He's like, I'm trying to navigate you and you're not paying attention.
Because a lot of the thoughts that you have in your head are not your own thoughts. So when you are having this internal discussion and it is your higher self speaking to you, you don't believe it. You question it.
You think it's an alien.
Yeah. You think it's foreign.
I'm like,
an
is
alien,
it Shiva or is it Ra? It's like, no, it's you.
Yeah.
It's me. I mean, Frank, look up. And I'm like, hey, oh, it's me. What are you doing all the way over there? He's like, well, I'm everywhere.
Exactly.
Right. So as you look back, say there's like 100 layers, like 100 book pages that you're flipping. He just is growing from out of the human body into those layers.
Yeah.
Upward into the divine realms, infinitely in both directions. Probably comes forward out of the human. There's artwork that depicts this, right? Where it's where the soul would resonate from point A, the singularity, up through the human, up through the divine angels, and up into till it becomes source, until it's up into the Christ head. Do you know? I grew up tough guy in the Bronx, right? And I'm not a tough guy. I'm not a tough guy. I may look like one. I may play one on TV, but I'm a good guy, right? But people used to push the wrong buttons constantly. And if you didn't, I remember my first time coming out of the house and there were older kids there. And I was like, oh, I'm selling lemonade today. And they were like, oh, that's great. Take some out. Can we have some? So I was like, yeah, 5 cents. So they were like, all right. And I poured everyone lemonade. And then 2 of the bullies, one of them punched me right in my face. Knocked everything over. They took the lemonade and left.
That's terrible.
Took the money out of my pocket. And I still thought the force would save me. That's how young I was. Right? Now I'm an older guy. That stuff didn't fly for
like
long.
In Star Wars,
the force from Star Wars would have protected me from that. And that didn't work when I was a kid naturally because the guys punched me right in my face.
Well, you didn't know how to connect to it.
But I knocked his face off a few years later. But that does not matter. What I'm saying is I grow up to find these wimpy 1%ers that dare have the balls to tell free people how to live, how to steal your birthright from you. I try to explain this to people. Like, it's your birthright. I think that's piques people. I go, hey, if you were born and this belongs to you, wouldn't you go get it? And be like, that's mine.
Yeah.
That's not for you to have.
No.
That belongs to me.
Yes.
That's called the sovereign individual, right? Why do you think William Wallace went berserk? Free men here. Stop trying to push all your crap and kill our people and push. Free men. We can't take it no more. And I see these wimpy 1%ers just ruining it for everyone. And I'm like, I wake up some days and I go, I could just strangle 10 of these guys myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you give me 20 minutes with them in a room. You could put all 10 of them in there. And I'm not even a tough guy. It's just the universe would be with me. But they said, that's not how you do it. So I go, well, you don't want me to hug these guys, right? I'm out here shouting out pedophiles and telling everybody where to go. And they're like, no, what you're going to do is you're not going to hate them. right? You may hate what they do or what they stand for, but you won't hate them specifically. Like, that guy, I hate him. You're like, okay, now I got that straight, so I'm not supposed to hate him, right? They're like, no. What you do is you do shame on him, right? So there's this guy that is doing horrible and you don't like what he's doing, and you're like, yo, dude, you're a creator too, and you shouldn't be doing that. And you know you can't play that role with him. And you know you can't just run up to him and punch him in his face because you go to jail. Well, what you do is you turn 3 people onto him and to the shame. Did you know what he did? Did you know what he did? Shame on you. Shame on you. Oh my, what that does when you shame someone and then all of a sudden everyone's like, did you know what he did? It's like reverse drama. You want the real drama? We'll give you the drama. Look what they're doing to us. Look what they are doing. Look what they are stealing. All right. Look at what they're doing in your name. When I push on you guys, and I don't mean to push, but I yell Bitcoin and silver or gold, you're taking money away from them by doing that. That's how you hurt them. You empty their pockets and then shame them. Then whatever happens, happens. People want to go righteous on people. That's not my problem, as I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to push for that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push for all of you to wake up. I'm going to say shame, shame, shame on you, man. Shame on you. Shame on you now, people that were fighting over Coke and Pepsi and Hillary and this other Trump clown. Shame on you for fighting the person next to you over a lie. Shame on you. Wake up. Snap out of it, bro. Snap out of it. I love you. Snap out of it. You're waking up from the illusionary dream. It's a dream state you're stuck in. If you're not seeing it, and I feel like I'm barking at my audience tonight, and I don't like that but we got a lot of first-time listeners all the time, and I kind of have to go through this. You know, there are better ways to defeat them. Right? Like Superman just punches the enemy, right? But Batman always does this, like, he never kills anyone, right? He always wins. He always deducts the best situation and how to handle it. And, you know, a lot of times you don't have to go fisticuffs with these people. You don't like it, pull out on this side. Because that's what they're attacking you from every direction.
Yeah, just remove yourself. Remove yourself from it.
This was going to be part of my thing. When there's a situation that arises and you're in the equation, as a creator and as the observer, you're to remove yourself from the entire drama.
Yeah.
Every part of the equation. Well, Frank said, then Paula said, then the chat room, who, by the way, we love. What's up, everybody? You know, and then on and on and on. Well, you're going to cut that off. You'll be like,
no, it hurts, but you have to remove yourself. It really does.
No, but when you remove yourself, you'll find people like myself, Paula, that have removed themselves.
Yeah.
And, you know, we slip sometimes too. We'll hear something on TV or, you know, and just make up stuff. And, you know, I always talk crazy nonsense about everyone NWO style from when I see it. That guy's a lizard. He's a reptile. That guy's definitely an alien that eats babies. I'll scream right at the TV. Right now, I don't really know if they're doing that, if that guy's doing that specifically. But I do have insight to certain things. And we got to take the separation, everything that's applying separation to us, and remove ourselves from that.
Yep.
This is why they say culture's not your friend. It's a nightmare. It's like good for you and your group, right? Until you powwow tribe and you accidentally step on my toe over on tribe number 2. Everyone's here for about 80% here for the right reason. There really is more good than bad.
Yeah.
This is the thing I'm seeing, is there's way more good guys than bad guys. As you're advancing, it goes into this power struggle of power. Like, raw, like we'll attack you and take everything, kind of like a locust, you know, like the AI or the insectoids that would do that to you.
I could see that.
You know, they just kind of roll through, eat everything, and move on. And there are those that are caretakers that are like, no, let's start a colony here and start life. Let's try not to destroy everything around us. You know what? I just said that, and it just reminded me of what I wanted to say. We're using trees still. I was going through paper the other day with the mail, Look at that stack of mail. That
know,
we didn't even look at. We
I
don't
know.
need anything there. It's going in the garbage.
No.
Right? And when you do that with a tree, I as a shaman, they speak. Right? So I can hear them. And, they're thousands of years old, some of these trees, or maybe perhaps older. And you'd cut them down when you could just grow hemp. And it grows in 6 months, like crop after crop after crop. You know what? You want paper? You could have paper. Your whole house could be stockpiled with paper because we did it with this. And it just keeps growing back. Look, instead of ripping out, the anchors in the planet.
New technology is scary. A new idea is scary. Alternative ideas are scary.
Bitcoin is scary at first.
Oh, I love it.
I
love it.
I think Serge created a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, definitely check into the cryptocurrencies are the future. I wouldn't tell you to go buy into all of them. I'm not going to. But Bitcoin itself, right? You go buy a piece of it, protect yourself. Buy a little piece of silver, buy a couple pieces just in case. All right, if it jumps from 1757 and it doubles in price, you made out. You win, right? There's not a lot of silver sitting on top of the ground right now, and we're buying it up like it's crack, right? So there's a reason for that. When that goes and there's production stoppages or anything occurs, it's just good. We're fighting the system and we're beating them in different ways. It's not hoarding silver. It's taking wealth back from them to us.
Real is it?
Yes, we are becoming fearless, and we're going to do this together. And it's Saturday night, and I love everyone. When we come back, I got Here Comes the Rooster. That's all I'm going to say.
Mad song.
Stay tuned.
Another drink of ayahuasca just to free my mind. I hope to find another day what I've lost before. I'm trying to find my second thing so I can live some more. Don't try to tell me how it is or what can't be done.
You're listening to the Truth Frequency Radio Network.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
Am I a weak or is this a dream? A fantasy where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world.
What's up, everybody? We're back.
And I am back too.
I forgot to tell you before, any artists that want to send in their artwork that has anything to do with anything from the show that you hear, any of the stories or any of your own experiences with you being under mushrooms, DMT, LSD, whatever. If it fits and you want to see it on a shirt or on a hat or something, contact me. Show me what you got. Real Frankie Fearless at Gmail.
Oh yeah, and then once the artwork is selected for whatever.
Oh yeah, like when it releases, we're gonna put it everywhere for that release.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be up so you can buy it. Frank will put it on Facebook and everything. But all of the artwork that was selected we're gonna use it as the poster flyers
and posters for the
show flyers each week.
So we're definitely getting it around. Last week we ended the show. I was trying to explain that eagles during one of my experiences. All right, wait, before I do this. This is the story of my journey and my journey alone. I don't suggest you try this at home alone. That is, unless you're ready. Then by all means proceed. But first, we suggest finding a reputable shaman who knows what he or she is doing and travel safe in the love and the light. Remember, the universe rewards bravery.
Yes, it does.
Right. So I was under during a DMT experience, and I saw eagles flying into my chest.
Oh, yeah.
They were in there were 10 across. And as they were coming at me, they went into this V formation and then flew into my face. And I was like, whoa, that was pretty awesome. And then I ended the show with saying this. I was like, oh, the eagles are with me. And I was telling Paul all about it. I was like, wow, this is pretty amazing. And then I was online buying silver, and these like different eagle-headed rounds were on sale
Kept coming
for
up.
like spot, right? Like right on spot. And they were like, this is an amazing sale. So I bought, and it was for 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, you kidding me? So I got it, and then I got them, and I go, look, these are the exact eagles that flew into me. It was just really weird how that had happened. But it was like, once again, they're guiding me. But one of the weird experiences that I had while I was under that time, I noticed that I had asked multiple times, because I saw some Aztec stuff about being mutilated, like them doing something horrible to me, like throwing me off the pyramid with my heart out or cutting my head
horrible,
off.
Frank.
Well, because that's what I know from those characters. And they said, no, but lie here. They said, this is prior to that. But I was lying on this. It looked like an altar. And I was watching the experience, right? I saw the weird pyramids. I saw the Aztec guy. He was screaming. And I was like, oh, this is pretty insane. And from the right side of me, a giant rooster walked into the frame. Like, it was gigantic, like a Godzilla rooster. And it started pecking me. But I was like down on the altar. And I was like, it felt like a tickle. Like, hey, what are you doing? Like, why you keep doing that to me? And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm trying to watch this. And they were like, just don't mind the rooster. And I'm like, yo.
Let him do his thing.
And I'm like, yo, there's a giant rooster pecking me. He won't leave me alone, but I can't seem to get up. And I'm trying to watch the show. And then I look into I'm like, what is he doing? Let me see. When I looked in, I had these insects in me.
Mm-hmm.
And they were running me.
Yep.
They were in my chest and in my hip. And I'm like, oh, what is that? What is that? And then boom, he would just take them. And I felt the impact of him hitting me when I was looking from that perspective. It was like taking a hammer to a nail, like bang, bang, bang. And then I go, oh, you guys better run. But he spent the entire time as I was witnessing the different experiences, just clearing me out. So that was my experience from that time. I know it took me a while to finish that story, but it was such a crazy event. And then it's weird. Once again, the animal totems, right? Like the oversoul of that specific animal has paid a visit again, right? And now what's happening? I go online. I go to buy some silver. So now I'm looking, and they have Year of the Rooster. Right? And we have many jokes about the rooster. Yeah. And I don't know. It just all seems to be working out.
Well, tell them about the birds after you bought the silver with the rooster on it, or whatever it was on it. You went outside.
I know. This is what happened. I started reading the Emerald Tablets.
And yeah,
that's right. The birds started,
and I
like
said,
gathering
Toth
out,
is sending them.
Right, like they're just like sitting up on the fence, looking at me, and I'm like, "Hi guys!" Right? We talk to them. I know this sounds so crazy.
No, we talk to all the animals around here.
But you notice when there's an influx of animals rolling right up on you, and you also have to have a little fun with this. You got to be like, "Hey guys!" Like even internally, like, "Hey, look." My brother was funny. I said to him, "Oh, a bluebird. It just flew down in front of me. And there's a giant bluebird in front of me." Yeah. And I go, "Rob's a bluebird. Rob's a bluebird." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, bluebird. That's real nice."
Yeah, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I got kids. I don't have time.
And I'm like, he goes, "Hey, yeah, that's cute. Real cute." And I'm like, no, it's a bluebird.
Yeah, and then
like a real one, like the one you see on TV, like in cartoons.
Yes, and the dove that waits for you at the front of the house. Meanwhile, I feed the cats in the neighborhood, and we've been feeding this little cat. I've been feeding her for months, 6 a.m., 6:30 in the morning. The last couple of days, she comes for Frank. She rolls for Frank.
She was just waiting for me outside.
Yeah, she calls Frank.
She follows me up and down in front of the house.
Yeah, me, Schleppo, who feeds her. No, I'm not allowed to go near her.
Here's the joke behind all this, though. They say one of the first steps in your journey, when you're on the right path, is the animals start to come to you.
Yeah, because if an animal don't like you, there's something wrong. I'm serious.
How many of you have dogs where the dog legitimately doesn't like someone?
No.
And you're like, this is my boy. Like,
and they bark. Or like someone comes to the door and they bark. That's the dog's job. So instead of yelling at the dog for barking, you should say, "Good boy" for barking, because they're there to protect you. They're there to protect you till they die.
To death do you part. All right. Speaking about this. All right. Wait. Shout out to my man Jay. It's Jay's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, buddy. All right. Batman passed away. Adam West, the original Batman.
Very sad.
Okay. So Batman passed away. My cousin passed away. It's funny. No, there's other people that passed. I'm not saying it's funny. But one of my good friends and student, kind of like a buddy, beginner, but not really a beginner.
Soul connection, soul family.
I'm going to tell you a story tonight, and I'm just going to say we're going to call him J, right? Like the letter J,
Yep.
Right? And this show is dedicated to him. He passed away the other day.
On the full moon?
On the day of the full moon. And I'm going to tell you guys a freaky story.
Okay.
All right, so I got up early. I just got up early. I was like, I'm up early, right? So I'm walking around, like, doorbell rings. I'm like, every time the doorbell rings here, I'm like, who's this, right? So I run to the door, and there's a box there. And I'm like, oh, but it has my name on it. And I'm like, oh. And I see who it's from, and I'm like, oh, man. This is my buddy Jay and his mom.
Yes.
Came and had a Ayah ceremony.
About a month.
A while ago.
A
while back. And they wanted to clear out everything. They agreed that as a mother and son, I'm not going to let you go alone, but this is something maybe we should do together.
They're going to take the journey together.
And everybody's going to go through their experiences. I'm going to tell you a little funny stories, but he, one of the things I'm learning is that if you're going to go, if it's your time,
it's your time.
It's definitely your time. So I get this box and I go, I can't wait to open this. I was going to wait for you. And then I go, no. You know what? I'm opening this.
Yeah, but I don't care about it.
So I rip it open, and there's a gorilla in there.
A stuffed gorilla.
Not a real gorilla. And it has it looks like a blunt in its mouth, right? But it's a stick. It's a big stick with a leaf on it. And it was like the joke around here is I have long arms, right?
Tell you a long freak arm story, Frank.
No, I'm not going to get into the story, but
right, we'll do that the next show.
Right? Yeah. I should be way taller.
No, he should not be way taller.
I should be like 6 foot.
Right? Stop it.
And I have giant long arms. So that she makes fun of me and calls me gorilla. So she was doing that while they were here. So I guess they got a little gorilla. And then a little pendant, right?
Oh, yes.
Right?
Oh, and Bev bought me a beautiful pendant, beautiful necklace.
So then was a
and a letter.
The 4-page letter.
Yeah.
So now all right, the letter was amazing. Okay. So it was just based on from their perspective from the moment they were leaving us as they were like packing up and going to like about 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah. So it was just like a little overview with cute little statements. But I'm like,
about the learnings and the growings and the, the after effects and putting the dots to connecting the dots.
Right. So I'm like, this is amazing. I can't wait for you to see it. Then somewhere in there, I'm like, I hear a voice just tell me, yo, you should drink. You should have a drink. And I'm like, a drink? And they're like, Ayah. And I'm like, nah, I ate meat last night. I start making all kinds of excuses. And then I hear the voice again. Nah, you need to do this. You should. So I walk by it. I just gulp it and walk away. Totally forget that I even did this. So now I'm in the shower.
You're crazy.
And I start seeing like in full color. But I'm not having an experience like I'm coming out of my body and oh my God, like it wasn't like that. It was very general, like very like, oh, I could deal with this. But wow, like anymore, you're not going for it. So I'm worried about purging now and all kinds of stuff. So I get out of the shower, I lay down and I don't feel good. And I just say out loud, you guys can't be trusted. If this is going to be done, I'm taking my people across. I'll do it.
Right.
So I started saying them. I was getting freezing, right? So I cover myself and I'm like, why did I shout that out loud? And in my head, I was seeing my nephew.
Right.
And he was like shouting orders at me. And I'm like, no. They can't be trusted. And they were like, there were light beings telling me, but this is what we do. And I'm like, yeah. And people get stuck in the phony reincarnation cycle. Like, I get so emotionally twisted with this when I see it, because once you see this, you're going to go, oh, this is going to have to stop immediately. And it's like, well, where do you start? It's like you can't just drink ayahuasca and go after them and stop. That's not how this works. You're just being shown, you know. Anyway, so I lay down and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? This is weird. You come home, I leave, and then come back. I still don't have my energy. You had read the letter, saw the gifts.
Oh, it was beautiful. Beautiful. Crying and laughing. I'm laughing out loud reading this letter. One, because no one sends a letter anymore. Two, because she was so poignant and so funny. And, you know, in the letter, it states that we have this soul bond now. And before they had left, you know, we already knew that there was going to be this bond between all of us.
Well, you know, when you have the experience, the people that are there, it's a very bonding experience for everyone. Because I remember seeing what I couldn't explain it, except it was like a flower blooming, like blossoming in front of me. Their relationship was coming back. Everybody was going good and stuff. But you had wrote a letter to Jay.
Yes, I had messaged him to thank him, and I had emailed Bev, but I had messaged Jay, and just as I was getting ready to hit send on this very short, funny, cute message, you know, Oscar ran over the computer and shut everything down. Ran across my lap over the computer.
So he deleted what you wrote?
Deleted everything that I wrote.
Okay, so I heard you say that from the bathroom.
Yep.
And I was laughing because we were celebrating.
Yeah, we were celebrating
the letter. This was such good news. We were going to read you parts of the letter on air. We might eventually, I don't know, right now, we just tell the story.
It was just beautiful. It really
incredible.
was.
So then I laugh and go on Facebook while I'm on the bowl, and there's a giant thing that says he passed.
Yeah.
And that he just passed in the last hour or two.
Yes. Which was a shock for me, and now I understand why the message was not meant to go through.
So
because he already received it, basically.
So there was multiple things that happened in a row on this full moon, mind you.
Oh yeah.
So we weren't having a good few days leading into this. You guys heard about my cousin, now my buddy, who was just here, like doing better, and you know, it is what it is. But to celebrate, all right, I had a really rough time with this, but
it was very
with
hard,
my friends' help and everyone around me, I realized that last month was actually it was on the road to happiness.
Yes.
And an accident occurred.
Yes.
An obstacle that you could not get by, and it couldn't. Sorry, just game over. But you were on the up path. You were on the upswing. Now, all right. These are like, is the glass half empty, half full kind of thing.
Yeah.
What do we say? If you just have a glass of water when you're thirsty.
Yeah, just be on the side of hope and instead of on the side of doubt. So he was on the upswing.
So I remember only good things.
Yes.
All right. So this is one of the funniest things that happened. Right now, he was a big dude, right? His Facebook, he just looked like me, kind of, right? So I'm like, oh, all right, I could handle this. He's going to be here with his mom. This guy's going to be what, 5'8", 5'9", 6 foot max. It's like 6'2", like 425. Walks in the door. I went, what? You don't look like your Facebook picture. And he's like, yeah, put on some weight. So we have this little back and forth, right? And one of the things as a shaman is you're always presented with a new thing each time that you can never prepare for ever. I go, there's not going to be much I can do in the terms of telling you just stay down on the floor.
Yeah, you have to stay
get
still.
Up, there's going to be an issue here. He's like, yeah, whatever. So he sits in the chair and the chair bends.
Yeah,
and I'm laughing and I'm like, oh, look at how crazy this is. So, all right. I'm like, this brew is awesome.
You know, and we put
We're
out
getting-
yoga mats and blankets and pillows. There's special blankets and pillows that we have just for ceremony. And we put out the yoga mats and we have the beautiful lighting. And it really is
Listen,
a nice
we make
experience.
It's beautiful. Now he's there with his mother, and she's under and having a hard experience,
Well,
right?
she's working through stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're working through that. Okay. So I'm just giving it to him, and I'm going, all right, any minute now you should be in, right? So he takes the first cup. 45 minutes. I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're a big guy. You can handle a second cup. Take a second cup. Man, we're on the 2-hour mark. Like, it was like the hour and a half mark. And then I gave him a third cup.
It was his metabolism. It was like
Wait,
that.
I didn't know that
friend,
you weren't
yeah.
here. And I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with this guy. He was just sitting on the floor. And then his mom wakes up. Everything's cool. Right. And then she's like, wow, oh my God. Right. So he starts laughing with us. And then he just is like, oh, and lays back. Right now. He has the eye experience that I did. Right. The holy, your eyes open. You go, whoa. And then he starts yelling at me but telling me he loves me. Right. So he's like, you didn't explain this right. I said, you had 52 weeks of shows of mine. Or 50 weeks of shows to catch up, to understand what goes on. He goes, but you didn't say it was like this. I said,
but you talked to him 1,000 times.
We've been talking every day for 6 months. Like, what's wrong?
Yeah, it was,
So
you were in our 6-month relationship.
So
with
he was under, but he's like arguing, but he's like, but I love you and everything's light. Did you know you're made of light? And I'm like, of course I'm made of light. Did you know you were made of light? And he's like, oh, do you know everything's made of love? And this whole thing's going back and forth. So I'm like, all right, he's all right. So he lays on the floor and he goes, all right, gets up. Wait, no, as he was getting up, he kicks the foot.
The coffee table, yeah.
The coffee table goes flying into the kitchen because he's so strong.
And it's a trunk. It's a wooden trunk.
So now I'm in the kitchen and it almost takes me out. So I jump over and his mom's like, you okay? And he just gets up and barrels through the bedroom
into the
door.
bedroom.
And takes everything on his way down. The dresser, the workout machine, the rug,
the ottoman, the rug,
everything. The bed was up against the wall on the other side of the room. He hit it and he goes down on the floor and he goes, I hate you. So I'm like, I love you. He goes, I love you. No, I hate you. So I start laughing. I go, listen, Paul is going to hate you if you don't get off the floor right now. You're making a mess in here, and I can't do anything but make suggestions to you. So I suggest that you get up right now and go in the other room. And he goes, I hate you. So I see him just, he's not really angry. He's just going through this really intense moment, right? But I'm going, I don't know what to do. I literally can't even call no one. So he starts reaching behind him, and it's just all your drawers.
It's my end table.
The end table and stuff, right?
Drawers.
So, no, not your drawers, but your the pull-out drawers, right? So then he's like reaching everywhere, and I go, yo, my dude. But I saw the lamp.
Yeah.
Teetering, and I go, don't pull that cord. It's a Himalayan salt lamp that looks like a giant bullet.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, he's going to
10 pounds.
Oh my God. I said, you're going to tug that and it's going to smash you in your head and there's nothing I can do about it. So he goes, I hate you. And then out of the air, miraculously, in his hand, he pulls out a Bible. It's in his hand. There's a Bible in his hand. Right? So I go, a Bible? Where'd you get a Bible? And he goes, I hate you. And he throws it at me, right?
Yep.
It hits me dead in my chest. I swear it was like a bullet. And it opens up. Like it hits me, bounces off my chest, and I catch it. And it's open on a page. So I think I might have squeaked this story in a little bit the last time, a couple weeks ago. And I said to him, oh, yeah? You found a Bible in my house? Paula must have hid this. This must be hers. Right? So I go, let's read from it, boy. And I go, and I look at the page and I start reading, and it's the statement of I am the one God. There are no gods above me. Right. So I start freaking out. Right. So I'm
because it was relevant.
So I'm like, you know what? I hate you. So I throw the book back at him and hits him, and he's like, so then I'm like, you know what? Just stay there. And then I pull the chair up next to him, and then he just sits on the floor next to me, and he comes out of it a little bit. He goes, yo, dude, I'm sorry, bro. I love you so much. Right. So I'm like, no, it's cool. And then he's rubbing my foot like he's floating off. And like, he has to he's like, I don't want to make this look weird. but that's your foot, right? I'm like, oh, that's my foot and my leg. So he goes, okay. And I'm petting Paula's arm right now. He was doing that to like my ankle and my foot. And I was like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. And then he rolled back into the experience and he grabs on like he was floating away.
Like a bear, like a bear claw.
I hate, oh, that's beautiful. Did you see how beautiful that was? And then he looks up into my eyes and then he goes, you just turned blue. You know, I've changed multiple colors in front of people at different times. You were blue before. So anyway, I sit there and he holds my foot. And then I swear it was from 3 to 4. And I would just sit there and go, it's awesome, bro. It's awesome. He goes, no, you're damn right. It's awesome. I hate you. Your description sucks. That's what he said. Your description, Frank, makes absolutely no sense after what I've seen. I go, well, what did you see? He goes, well, everything. I go, well, how would you describe it? I said, it's going to take me the rest of my life to just describe what I've seen like a human would, which is basically caveman to anything more advanced.
Right.
Like, do you understand what's happening? And he's like, do you understand what's happening? So, okay. Now with this. So
you finally got him out of my room.
Oh, he got up. He helped me fix everything. Now, he didn't break nothing.
Now, meanwhile.
Oh, no, wait. There was one more thing that happened. One more thing. He pulled the cord. All right. I got up and I was like, all right, buddy. You've had enough. Like, dude, but he was 3 cups deep. I'm like, oh. All right. He pulled this cord like it was a parachute. Like
what
it was
cord?
The cord from the lamp.
Oh.
He did it before we got up, and I was just standing there going, oh, it's gonna happen, and I put my hand on his face.
Right.
And I caught it.
You caught the lamp.
Yeah, and it landed in my hand, but he felt the pressure on his face. Like,
right.
Oh,
but it
like
could
that would have messed me up, bro. And I go, oh, you're awake now. Now you're awake, right? 2 seconds ago, you had your hand in the Bible again. I go, and where the hell did you get that? He goes, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Now, the funny thing is, on my end table, I have cubby shelves. And the Bible, it was like wedged behind Oprah, famous quotes from Oprah. and a book my cousin bought me it's poems about gardening lovers. So it was such a strange, like it was just so, because that was just it was buried in the back. I don't even know how we got it.
See, that's the funny thing.
What's meant to be is meant to be.
So like the synchronicities of the day of his passing, but me lighting up that last month, I feel like I was the catalyst, right? Like just you have boy and mom and catalyst shaman Frank just pops up. Everyone agrees. And then it was just like, poof, it happened.
Yeah.
And then they went back onto their journey.
Right. And things were good. They were great.
Yes. Now, well, listen, this is a full celebration.
It is a celebration. It really is.
Just say this. I was very opposite of this yesterday and the day before. I was having a hard time dealing with this, thinking, he was here a couple of days. He didn't, maybe there was a little more I could do a third day, just hanging out with him more, maybe an extra phone call. But it's been brought to my attention over and over and over. It's a matter of fact, it's sickening me how much it's been brought up to my attention that that's another creator. They decide to do that. It's on them. There's nothing you can do.
But there is nothing you can do when it's meant. When you're meant to be called back,
but it's that sometimes it appears certain ways to us. But to them, like their contract might be up, and they're like, "Get me the hell out of here."
That's what I'm saying. It's not us. It's not for us to hold them back if they're to go.
Or hold a grudge, or be, I mean, it hurts. It sucks. You're not here, but you know what? What have we been all learning together? That they're right in front of us. They're really all right. The ones that don't get hijacked and the ones that do get hijacked, it doesn't matter. The oversouls are still sitting there.
Right.
They're just there. You call to that energy, it's going to hear you.
The body isn't listening. When the body doesn't listen.
Your spacesuit's gone. That's it. And we're back down to that again. We ended the show again. Love you guys so much. Thank you for listening to this. Jade, this one's for you.
This one's for you, Joe.
Stick around. Cherie and Chris are up next with Beyond the Veil. You know what I love about us? We're your protection from deception.